Joining me now is, of course, our dear friend Mohit Gang. Mohit, good to see you at this time of the hour. You usually join us in market hours. But I think a very, very interesting development which has come by way of SEBI, really cracking the whip this time very, very, painfully on what we refer to as finfluencers. Now, the company in question, or the finfluencer in question here, of course, is Baap of Charts. Honestly, I had never come across that finfluencer because I heed to good advice given by SEBI registered investment advisors like Mohit Gang. But I think enough and more people seem to have, paid for courses offered by Baap of Charts, and now SEBI saying, hey buddy, hold it. First deposit 17 crore rupees in an escrow account and then let's talk. What is the message, according to you, that SEBI is really trying to pass down to the finfluencer community, Mohit?
Oh, I think this is a blow out of the blue, honestly, I think, and this is a very
Is it out of the blue?
hard-hitting,
Weren't
very,
you
very.
expecting it? I think all statements that have ever been made by Madhvi Puri, Bush, the kind of debates that we have seen around crackdown on finfluencers, to my mind, it is pretty much in line with what should have happened, has now finally happened. So, really, is it out of the
It
blue?
should have happened. It should have happened. What I'm meaning to say is we've never seen that kind of action by Indian regulators in the financial market. Like
Ah,
the
right.
amount which we are hearing, I think 17 crore is an unheard of kind of an amount in Indian markets. We've never seen. Look, all of us have gone through these things. We see number of influencers out there on X, on YouTube, trying and promoting multiple things, and we know hand on heart that half of those things are like really outrageously false, right? And half of those claims are also made out of thin air. But something of this magnitude to happen, I think that's a very, very welcome move. Honestly, I think it's much needed for sanity of the overall ecosystem, much needed for sanity of a highly decorated role, which is an RIA or an registered investment advisory role. I think the role has got honestly, I think it's got ridiculized in last couple of years by a very, very small segment, and they have come to represent the entire fraternity per se. It's unfortunate, but that's the true part of it, that those handful of people who give these trading calls, who give derivative tutorials, who give these lessons online, and who claim to be really influencing, but they do have huge following on social media handles, is what is distorting the entire narrative now against the registered investment advisors. And honestly, I think from a regulator's perspective, they have to make regulations which are at par for everyone, and which is where the cost of compliance is, which is where the cost of managing the regulations has gone up for genuinely. For genuine advisors, I think the economics of doing the whole business is getting tougher and tougher. But I think for larger public, for retail public, for public who's gullible and who's falling for these kind of things, it's a very, very welcome thing, honestly. And I think more such examples need to be set so that the entire ecosystem is very well aware. And plus, public at large also tries and
Yeah.
distinguishes before they go for these kind of things. They try and distinguish who is a genuine RIA and who is not a genuine RIA.
So, I just want to play devil's advocate for precisely 1 minute. We are running out of time, Mohit. But do you think it's fair to treat financial influencers or finfluencers very differently from regular influencers? I'll just give you a simple example. If there's a travel influencer I follow, that travel influencer tells me, hey, visit so and so country in Europe, eat such and such food, visit such and such museum. At the end of the day, it is my money that I'm spending on the advice of that travel influencer. Or if there's a food influencer who tells me, hey, go to this gully in Purani Delhi and must try this tikki, and I go there and I get a stomach upset, I'm still following some influencer and I'm still parking my money. Should financial influencers be treated very differently from other influencers, and hence should the role of SEBI not border with the rules of, let's say, ASCII, which defines the advertising guidelines in general for influencers? I'm not
Look,
making
I'll
a
try and
case for
answer your question in
influencers.
two
I'm just
parts.
saying objectively, does it make
Yeah.
sense to bucket and go after just this one lot of influencers who actually have also imparted, perhaps, I could be wrong, but they have imparted some sort of education, some sort of learning for people to at least understand the macro concepts of markets?
Yeah. I'll try and answer your question in two parts. The first part is where you make a comparison. Look, honestly, I think where your hard-earned money is involved, where you are actually spending your life's savings for your retirement kitty, for your wealth creation, for your children's education, or any other financial objective which you want to meet, that's a very, very different thing as compared to a travel thing or eating some dining out in a restaurant. You can have that bad experience. You will, in fact, most of the people I see do a lot of research before actually going out to travel and trying out a new restaurant, but
They
they
don't do
actually
that
fail to
research
do a
for
lot of
investing in the
research when they
markets.
make investments.
They don't do that research
Sorry.
while they don't do that research, similar research in
Honestly,
investing in
they
the
don't.
markets.
Actually, they don't. They go with these influencers and they go with the commentary on YouTube and commentary on X, which is the most disheartening part. Actually, no one wants to do the hard work of actually analyzing the products and analyzing the background of the person who is actually recommending the product. But to your second part, my second part of that entire answer is, look, we need to have a clear demarcation as to what a influencer can do and what he cannot.
Yeah,
What kind of a registration does he need to have? Is
yeah.
he advising clients, or he's just trying to deepen the market by doing educational tutorials, or is he running his own courses, giving tips, promoting other platforms? We need to have a clear demarcation. And I also feel we need to have a distinguish categories of RIAs as per products,
Right.
which is label all RIAs, whether they're doing mutual funds, they're doing stocks, or they're doing derivatives under one
Yeah,
common bracket,
yeah.
and try and cast them under same rules. My sense is if we have different set of rules, because someone who is doing mutual funds is trying to give
May not be
a
an
genuine
expert
advice
on
on asset
tax, may not be
allocation.
an expert on stock picking, may not be an
Yes.
expert on fundamentals. Absolutely, get your point, Mohit. Thank you so much. We are running out of time. I think I can only end by saying and adding a little bit of my sort of twist to the famous NSE saying, "Soch kar, samajh kar, Finfluencer की नहीं RIA की सुनकर invest कर." Well, thank you so much, Mohit gang. Wonderful having you here with us. And of course, we'll
Thank you.
continue our market discussions in due course. But for now, thank you so much for joining us.